Welcome back, y'all. This is 2Aprons. I'm Gerald David.
And I'm Kitty.
And this is 2Aprons. I did that wrong. You know what it is. You know what you clicked on.
You can never say the name too much. 2Aprons.
You're probably not new to this. Today we're doing, we don't really know how to even pronounce it, but it's Vadouvan Shrimp and sweet chili sauce, or
as YouTube would have you say, Vadouvan Shrimp and sweet chili sauce
Vadouvan.
with Vadouvan or Vadouvan. I like Vadouvan, but that could be wrong. And it's with aromatic rice and sesame seeds, which if you've watched us before, you know I love sesame oil, sesame seeds. Both are involved in this recipe, and I'm super excited.
Here's the rice, sushi grade rice.
This is our sushi rice, and I will tell you a little bit more about what makes it sushi rice later. Ooh, teaser.
Garlic, you know what that is.
Garlic, so much yummy garlic.
Fresh, yummy garlic.
Mm-hmm. This is our sweet chili sauce.
This is,
Ooh, these are my sesame seeds, and those are going to go on top as garnish and just look really pretty and give it a pop.
Or Vadouvan curry spice blend, or however you say it.
Vadouvan curry spice blend.
Cool.
We have our sesame oil here, which, oh my god, smells so good.
Oh, we did the ginger.
Ooh, ginger. Very nice. Very nice. We're going to peel it with a spoon again today, guys. I know you love that.
Sweet peppers by the handful.
Sweet peppers of love. Alright, sorry.
Here's a lime. Boom.
That is a lime.
Boom lime. Oops.
And I love it when citrus gets involved.
And the bow.
No, that's the bok choy.
Oh, bok choy. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
That was a type of steamed bun.
That's right. That's right.
This is bok choy. Bok choy.
I forget my forgettings.
No
All right.
worries.
Let me wash these guys off, as you always do. What's our first thing going to be? I guess cutting some stuff out?
Yes. So we got our prep first off. We're going to do 2 cloves of garlic is what the recipe calls for. So you know us. We're doing like 4.
That's right.
And we're going to finely chop those, or roughly chop those, and then we're going to finely chop the ginger. And we're going to put those both into one bowl.
Wash this, guys.
Oh! Leaf down. Here, you can still salvage it.
No, just don't salvage it.
We're not salvaging it, just kidding.
There's enough bok choy. We can
wash it off. It would be fine, but
It's icky. It's icky. If it hits the floor, it goes to the door. Or something like that.
I like that. I was just trying to think of a rhyme, but you had it. Like, nice.
All right. So, what do we do with these?
So for these, we are going to take off the ends, and then we're going to chop it and separate the stems and leaves.
Okay.
Yes, and that's going to be our bok choy.
Bok choy.
And just verifying out, just a rough chop, and then separating the stems and leaves. But of course, you do want to discard the ends because nobody wants to bite into that.
Yes, no one wants to.
No one. Then we're going to go ahead and get the pepper started as well. We can quarter the lime. We can peel the ginger and get that chopped, finely chopped. And then the garlic is going to be a rough chop. So a couple of different size knives there that will work.
These two.
Yes, those two. Please be careful doing this at home.
You should. The ginger is like just roughly chopped?
The ginger you can do with a spoon. You do have to peel it.
Oh, you have to peel with a spoon.
Yes.
Then I want to do something with a knife.
Okay, you do something with a knife.
Is this where we core them?
Yeah, you're going to cut off the ends, and then you're going to just split them down the middle, remove the seeds, and...
Boom. That's how you kind of do it and get rid of almost all the seeds. It doesn't always work, but that one actually did work.
I've not seen that done before.
So you just kind of go around the edge and you rotate it. If your knife is sharp, that's not too hard to do.
You still, you can see this pepper still has ribs, so you still want to cut it lengthwise.
Yep.
And then kind of pull those out, remove that white bit, because it's kind of like the pith on citrus fruit, that white part that's between the peel and the...
I like that.
It's extremely bitter.
It's yummy.
It's extremely bitter. This is not as bitter. Like, honestly, this is not as bad. It just doesn't have a very good flavor. Pith, however,
do I roughly chop that down more, or what happens?
What you're going to do once you remove those is you're going to thinly slice crosswise all the way down. So I'll let you do that. And I will start to work on the ginger. And I'm just going to take, actually I think we have a spoon out.
Yeah, we do.
Over
right
on
here.
this side. Oh, perfect. Thank y'all. And we're going to peel this and remove the bok choy a little bit. Because if you've seen me peel this before, this tends to go everywhere, but the spoon does work And it doesn't take off nearly as much of the ginger as like a knife would. So that's why I like to use a spoon. Because it's just easy.
It is.
Easy breezy.
And you don't hurt yourself. That's my fourth
No,
jump.
exactly.
Don't die, boys. Jenny, come back.
And I have like cut myself plenty of times, so I do really appreciate being able to avoid that.
Oh, yeah.
And again, we're just slicing those like into small crosswise pieces, and then we're gonna put those in once we chop the bok choy with it. And because this ginger is a little bit, kind of gets that look on the ends, you know, like maybe fruit that's been cut or whatever, I am gonna like thinly remove bits of the end pieces just to make sure that all we're getting is like fresh and not super grainy. I feel like we've been watching a lot of Naked and Afraid lately, and I almost feel like that was something out of there, like where I stole one of his implements that he needed to survive on the island or something.
Not my magnifying glass. It was the only way. It was the only way. I like that show. I like it. I wish they'd do couples. That would be awesome.
Oh my gosh, we would so be down if they would do couples. We would so apply. Maybe we talk about it all the time. And honestly, like, my daughter is so funny. Like, Gerald David is, he's just very logical and very good at, like, survival stuff and, like, you know, life. And so we were watching a movie the other day, and everything, it was a bad horror movie because she and I do that. We have girls' days where we just watch really bad horror movies. And we were watching one. And everything that happened, we were like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? Like, this is insane. And at some point, Abby's like, if they had a Gerald David, that would never have happened. If they had a Gerald David, that would never have happened. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so true. Like, it was cracking me up.
I do cut through the bullshit and save a lot of time and money. I do. All right, am I supposed to de-seed the line?
If it has, like, visible seeds, yeah, but I don't think they usually do.
No, there's none.
Alright, so we've got, the ginger's supposed to be finely chopped, so I'm going to go at this a little bit more, just because I feel like it's not super, like, what I would call this a rough chop. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over it one or two more times, just to get it down a little bit further. Because ginger, I love ginger, so, like, this would be fine for me, because it, you know, I love it. The ginger can be a little bit of an overpowering flavor for some people, which is why they want it to be fine chopped instead of rough chopped.
How many cloves of garlic is it?
The recipe calls for 2, so I figured we'd do like 4.
Yeah, we do a bunch.
Yeah.
We do a bunch.
So we've got our ginger chopped. And I guess I'll give you back your knife if you're going to do the garlic.
The ginger you can go ahead and put in here, so we'll mix that with the garlic at some point.
I'm going to move that to the edge. And then just
bam.
Right on in there. And notice I'm using the back of the knife. If you use the blade of the knife, it dulls the blade. So if you have a bench scraper, by all means use that because it's literally what that tool was designed for.
But
otherwise, I just use the flat edge of the knife.
That's getting a little bougie when you have a thing for every single little thing.
It depends. If there are some baking things where you, like for dough, a bench scraper is really helpful. Yeah. So if you're going to do that, like if you have multiple uses for it, absolutely. But if you're just doing it to get this stuff off, like no, just use the flat of the knife and you're fine.
I didn't know that about baking. That makes sense. Because I was like, who needs all this stuff? Where do cupcakes come from?
He doesn't know. He just loves them. It's like chocolate chip cookies. What? You can make those at home from scratch?
What? I mean, you open the blue bag, you know what I mean? You undo the twist tie. Yeah, I know how to do this.
You cut the dough into spherical pieces. No.
Eat the dough.
Yeah, that
Some
is
of
my
them
favorite
accidentally
thing.
make it into the oven.
Y'all, I would eat cookie dough or brownie batter over the cooked version every day. Like, I know some people find that gross and, like, they each their own, but I'm totally all about that batter. And I've never gotten salmonella, so.
Yeah.
Not saying that you won't, like, raw eggs.
No, that's true.
Thing.
That's true.
You could. I just haven't.
It's yummy. I buy the kind that doesn't have eggs in it, so you don't have to worry about it. You can eat it, and that's the trick.
From scratch, though, typically those recipes will call for eggs.
No, not cookie. I'm talking the stuff that you buy in the tube or whatever.
Yeah.
If you want just cookie dough, you're not making it from scratch. You go get that, whatever. But get the kind that doesn't have egg in it, and you can just eat it straight out of the freaking tube.
That's very smart. And I will do that next time I'm really sad or having a girls' movie weekend.
That's right. Bridget Bones' Diary.
Oh,
and
so
40 gallons of ice cream.
You are showing your age there.
That's the last time I was sad. That's the last time I was sad.
It's high protein ice cream substitutes now, which are delicious.
I don't even begin to understand what you just said.
High protein, low calorie.
Is that
Love
for
them.
astronauts? Is that for
Y'all know what they are. If you want a brand, DM me.
Boom.
Or sponsor me.
Boom.
You know who you are.
That's right. That's right. So many yummy bits of garlic.
Alright, so we've got the stems of the bok choy, which are going to go in with the peppers. So do we have a bowl for those?
No, we just kind of put them there for right now.
These guys over here.
Does all this get finely chopped? The garlic?
Yeah, the garlic gets a rough chop.
Oh, rough
Do
chop.
you want to use this blade though? Because I feel like
No,
that's going to be
I like this guy.
easier. Oh, okay.
Well, maybe let me try that.
Oh, you lost a guy.
Oh,
man.
I did. Yeah.
Man in the bok choy.
Just, I'll grab it. Yeah, there we go. I find that's the
And
easiest
again,
way.
I've shown you before. I did not do it just then. But you should like hand it to the person with the handle out, not with the blade towards them.
And just like I did, if it's ever weird, you just tell them to set it down and
Yeah.
you pick it up. Unless you're like on a moving something, like a boat or something, then maybe not. But for typical, you just be like, set it there and I'll grab it.
And
Especially
if you're
nowadays.
on your boat, just
well,
let the chef deal with the knife.
And nowadays, because of COVID, you might want to sanitize it you know what I mean? If you're just in a kitchen. I'm trying to make a...
No, that's valid. If you're in like a commercial kitchen or something, sure. But you're probably wearing gloves then anyway, so.
Yeah, so you just want to be aware of things like that, cross-point contamination and stuff like that. So don't be afraid to just be like, hey, set that down. I'll grab it from you. Boom.
Which David does all the time. He's really funny to be like, can you hand me that? And then when I go to hand it to him, be like, can you just set it there?
No, I am.
Because he's usually busy doing something else by the time it gets to him.
But also, it's like when people hand things off, that's where you end up dropping it. Somebody, I don't know.
Oh, you know what? We can get the, we have the ginger. Once we have the garlic done, we can get the rice started. So that'll be good. I'm going to go ahead and get that oil heating in the pot.
Because the ginger we're going to mix into the garlic, aren't we?
The garlic and ginger are going to go together, and they're going to go in the rice. And so those are the first two things we put in this pot to soften them up a little bit before we add the rice. So the chopped garlic and ginger are going to saute in the olive oil when it gets hot.
Oh, this is olive oil.
Yeah.
This is not the...
That's not the sesame oil. And I did double check.
Okay. I was confused.
Because we do have sesame oil, this recipe, but it's going to go in with the shrimp.
Yeah, so there's just like a little tablespoon in here.
And then while he's doing that,
around.
I'm going to steal his knife.
Yeah.
And actually, that's not like a tablespoon, that's like a drizzle, so it's probably...
We're putting all this in here, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So good. I love garlic and ginger.
I love aromatics. And ginger is just...
What is just aromatics a generic term for something, or what is that?
So sometimes the meal kit that we use will send a pre-prepared spice package that is aromatics. It's always a lot of ginger.
Okay.
I don't always know what else is involved, but there's definitely like a large amount of ginger. This is aromatic rice, and the garlic and ginger are what contribute the aromatics to it. But aromatic just literally refers to the sense of smell.
Ah.
So if something is aromatic, it has an aroma to it.
Well, this definitely does.
You can smell it.
This definitely does.
And I love the taste of ginger, and I also love the smell, so I'm doubly happy when we have things that involve it.
It's already filling the kitchen.
Yes.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
That and the really fresh scent of like chopped bok choy leaves, which I also love, so that makes me happy. Alright, so we've got our prep done. Everything's cut up, everything is kind of good to go.
I'm going to prep. There's going to be 1/4 cup of water added to the rice. I'm going to get that ready. Tell us about sushi rice. What is that? Why do they call it sushi rice?
So give me 1 sec so I don't have my back to you guys.
Sushi rice.
And then I will talk about sushi rice. So sushi rice. So I was looking it up today and I'm like, what makes sushi rice different than like white rice? Like, why are those separate things? And technically, they're kind of not. Sushi rice is a short grain, and that's kind of the key right there. There are 2 keys. Sushi rice is a short grain white rice, and it being a short grain is what gives it the extra starch content that makes it stickier. So sushi rice is going to stay stickier than like regular white rice. And then the other thing that I read that is unique about sushi rice, it is flavored with specific like vinegar-based spices. And so those are the 2 key components. It's a short grain. The color can vary, but it's a short grain, typically white rice. and it's going to be flavored with vinegar-based spices. And so that is what makes sushi rice different from just regular, any day, like white rice.
Everyday regular rice?
Yes, exactly.
Is it normally served with sushi? Like, why do they call it that?
It is used to make sushi, and in Japanese culture, I think it is specifically only used to make sushi. Because I was reading a couple of different blogs and opinions on that for things on that today, pieces of information.
Blogs and opinions.
Blogs and pieces of information.
I think this is about ready. What's the next step?
Super. So you're going to do that
Fourth cup water.
Well, once you've heated that for 2 to 3 minutes.
And we have.
Okay. Then we're going to add the rice, a big pinch of salt, and 3/4 cup water.
Here's the rice.
3/4 cup water. And a big old pinch of salt. And then we're going to turn this on to high, and we're going to heat it until it's boiling. So I'm just going to make sure that that rice is kind of in the water there, so when it starts boiling.
And I only did 1/4 so far, and then I'm going to add another 1/4 now.
Ooh, sorry, that's loud.
I only did 1/4 so far, and I'm going to add another 1/4 now.
Yep.
And then we'll do the final 1/4, because sometimes they tell you to give you too much water.
No, not in the rice. Go ahead and do all 3/4.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, another thing about sushi rice is that it's steamed. And so that's why we're only adding 3/4 cup instead of like adding a whole pot. Like, you know, usually they're like, fill a pot 3/4 of the way full with water and boil it and then add the rice. But sushi rice is steamed, and so we're only adding 3/4 cup water. We're going to cover it once it gets to boiling. We're going to leave that for 15 to 17 minutes, and it's going to steam that rice. They do for sauces sometimes give you like way too much water, but for the rice they tend to be pretty well.
We need to set a timer?
Yeah. So
and
you've
this
got
needs
it
to
for
be set
15
on high?
minutes.
Oh, boom.
Yeah. So that's on high.
We have to start it
no,
though. Like,
no, you start it once it's boiling.
Ah,
so once
that's what I didn't
to boiling,
understand.
you want to cover it and then start your
Because you're looking
timer.
at it, but nothing was happening.
Right,
Now,
exactly.
now I'm on the same page. Now I'm on the same page. All right, what's next?
Okay, so once the rice, we're going to keep an eye on that, and it's going to boil
time.
pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's already boiling. It's boiling.
Okay, so go ahead and cover that, and I'm starting the timer, and reduce it to low once it's like boiling. Like actual low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Super duper low.
Yeah, like low.
It's still boiling. It's supposed to
That's
stop
what,
boiling?
no,
Okay.
you just leave it on there and it simmers, so it goes down and then
Okay.
the water absorbs that.
That makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and start heating up this. And is
Yep,
that sesame
good
oil
idea.
that goes in there?
It is going to be half the sesame oil, yes.
So half the sesame oil in your skillet. Go ahead and get that started heated up.
All right.
I should have prepped these a little bit. I didn't think about that. Otherwise this oil is going to go really fast over here. So if you'll help me, we can both do it and knock it out.
Shrimp, they
Oh,
are
detailed.
So we're just taking the tails off. They are already deveined.
Which is yummy. You don't want them when they're not.
Whoops.
I don't know. Yeah, don't.
Okay.
No, stop.
I'm sorry.
Stop. She keeps putting the tails in the fresh pile. Like, cut it out.
Okay, well, technically the tail should be somewhere entirely different.
No, it doesn't matter. Just stop them
I'm
in the trash
working
on
on
the
it.
yumminess.
Jesus.
She's
you
being
act like
so
I'm doing it
weird.
on purpose.
After the 4th time, I'm like, I think she's messing with me, y'all. I think it's a bit. It's a skin of a bit.
He's a little bit of a clean freak, germaphobe, so he gets very, he really doesn't like it when I mess things like that up.
It's like,
which is understandable.
Stop being icky.
But it was an honest mistake.
I was a germaphobe long before it was cool, y'all. That's what people don't even get. They're like, I just started being afraid of germs. I was like, shh, you 32 years too late. This world's been full of icky for a long time. It's a full-time job avoiding the icky. Boom.
So, and then I'm just washing my hands if you want to throw those guys in.
Well, we have to
you
put
gotta
the...
season.
we have to season them. They're not quite
I'm
ready
washing
yet.
my hands, and then we'll season them.
And I'm patting them dry.
And guys, what is our first step going to be to season them with?
Salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper. Good job. That's always, almost always the first step. I'm pretty
I know,
sure
right?
That's never not been the first seasoning step.
It has. It has. And on this, we use salt and pepper, and we'll also use the curry powder as much as you like. You're going to have some left over, usually.
Yeah.
But we use a lot of it. We were very generous.
And what you also want to do is once you've got your seasoning on there, you kind of want to toss them to coat. And
exactly.
So just kind of do it over the tops there, and then when I'm done with that.
Oh, it looks so good.
Whew, this is a workout, ladies.
Yeah,
I'm not joking.
And that's, yeah. Oh, look at that. They're looking all golden, yummy. How long are we going to end up frying these for?
So these are going to go, once we've tossed them in our seasoning, we're going to cook them in an even layer without stirring for 2 to 3 minutes, or until they're slightly opaque. Opaque means not see-through. So translucent is see-through. Opaque means you can't see through it. So in 1 to 2 minutes, or 2 to 3 minutes, sorry, until they're slightly opaque in an even layer without stirring. And then we're going to continue to cook them, stirring frequently for 1 to 2 minutes until they're fully opaque and cooked through. And another really good indicator is color. So these guys are kind of gray right now under the spice blend.
Spice blend.
When they're done, they turn a pink color.
That's right.
So that's another good indicator of like they're cooked pretty well. And go ahead and throw them in.
Will you spread the oil around there?
Absolutely.
There we go, and it's moving good too.
It is. So this is perfect. Gerald David was absolutely right on about that timing.
There we go.
And 2 to 3 minutes in an even layer, and it is coated.
If you'll set
So
that timer.
I'm gonna grab my phone and set a timer on that second.
Oh, these are gonna be so good. And shrimp is one of the easier things to cook. Even if you do have to clean it yourself, it's not the biggest deal. If it's date night, you want to clean it, you know, before she gets there. But
yes, easy and fast. Shrimp does not take a long time to cook.
No, it's delicious.
So it works out well.
So I'm just putting these out in an even layer.
And we do our proteins, animal proteins, for the longer amount of time. So I've got this on for 3 minutes right now for the shrimp. And those are going in an even layer.
They are.
And we're just going to leave them there to chill.
If you'll soak me up and turn the water
Absolutely.
on. Ooh, my hands are all yellow from the curry.
And just to be fair, curry will stain.
It will.
We learned this. We did something with potatoes and curry the other night, and I used like a little mesh sieve. And when we pulled it out, Gerald David noted that it had actually stained the metal mesh on the sieve. So it does stain. We also got some on my countertop at my apartment, and like
it will be there forever.
It's yellow. So just be a little bit careful when you're dealing with that, because it will definitely like adhere. Or if your kid maybe has a project at school where they have to dye something, curry powder might be a good option for you. Where they have to dye it like naturally.
Cover these guys also, give them a little extra heat on the top.
So we've
Should we stir the rice every now and then?
No.
Because I feel like last time we didn't.
You really, really shouldn't.
No?
Not
Okay.
until the end. No.
I kind of cheated though, and I wanted to check to make sure it wasn't melting to the bottom of my pan, because rice will do that and it's horrible. But this is turning out really delicious. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Yummy, yummy. How much time we got left on that? Oh, we got a good little bit.
Yeah, the rice has almost 8 minutes left
right.
on it.
And then, so pretty much that shrimp's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to leave the fond, and then it's on to the veggies.
Yep, so we're going to cook once the shrimp comes out. And again, that's going to sit there for about 3 minutes. And then we're going to continue to cook it, stirring frequently for another 1 to 2 minutes. But once that comes out, we're going to put in the peppers and bok choy stems. And those are going to go. And then we're really close to being done once the rice is done.
We are. Ooh, it's going to be delicious.
I like these shrimp meals because they tend to be quicker meals to prepare.
I thought I thought we had another frying pan. Because that's the other thing too. You can accelerate the time on these by adding another frying pan. Because we could go ahead and start the veggies. You don't have to wait for the shrimp.
You don't get the fond in it if you do that, so there's a little bit less flavor. But if you're if time is more of your thing rather than developed flavors, you can absolutely do that, and it's not going to be a huge hit,
That's true. I forgot about the fond. And you were Googling the Vadouvan thing. What did you learn about that?
So what we learned about
Vadouvan.
What is it? Vadouvan?
Vagabonds? I think it's vagabonds. That's it. Yeah, it's a beatnik. I know
Gerald
this.
David likes to make up his own words for things,
I do.
and then trademark them.
And then I'm gonna eat some of these. Copyrights are empowerment, man. You all go to that.
So what we learned was that is a French spice blend that is a derivative of an Indian curry blend. And that is our shrimp right there for 3 minutes. And
do I stir it? Now what's
down to
next?
2. Yeah, and stirring frequently. We're going to cook it for another 1 to 2 minutes until they're all pink and cooked through and opaque. And I've got that going. So yeah, Vadouvan or Vadouvan is
peak.
And you can tell they're not as gray now. I know there's spice blend on there, but you can see a little bit of the pink showing through. They're also not done yet, so
no, just super
they
close.
will get more pink. But Vadouvan or Vadouvan is a French spice blend that is based heavily on Indian curry spice blends, and it is really delicious and really mild. If you're like worried about spice levels, this is not like a hot spicy kind of thing. This is more of like a mild blend spice.
Good note. Oh, this is going to be so good. So delicious. It smells so yummy. And I'm a big fan of curry.
We
Love
both
it
are.
in all its forms. I don't care. Oh, you don't care how stinky it is. It's so yummy. How hot it gets. And I like how diverse curry can be too.
They've got red curry, green curry, yellow curry. Like there are all kinds of curries out there, and it's just, to my knowledge, it's just different like blends of spices. So, you know, if you're an experimenter, like, go out and try them.
They're so yummy. The curry and Thai food.
Yeah, I was going to say, every time we order Thai food, David gets the red curry with chicken and extra chicken.
Spice level 4.
Yes, spice level 4.
Hiya. Spice level
Without
4.
fail. They pretty much know our order, what I call. So we've got that going. We've got about 30 seconds left on those shrimp, and then we'll look at those and see if we think they need a little bit longer or if they're looking pretty good.
No, I think they're looking pretty good. Once it goes off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pull it early, but I think they're good. Oh. And is that all? They're done once that's done?
Yeah, they're done once that's done. They're going to go out on a plate.
On a plate somewhere. On a plate right there. Oh, it's going to be so
See,
yummy.
we both sing because it's a happy kitchen.
It's like happy kitchen. We're a feast upon unicorns.
Oh, there we go. We don't eat unicorns. Unicorns are our friends. So there you go, guys. You can see, especially around the tail part, it's very pink. Like, even though the spice blend is there. So once you can't see through them anymore, again, once they're opaque and you can't see through them and they don't look gray, they're pretty well done.
Scraping up the fawn. Now what goes in? Sesame oil?
Yeah, we're going to do, let's make sure, the remaining sesame oil, and then we're going to add the peppers and bok choy stems.
Yummy.
So this is going to be delicious, guys. Yeah, get all that in there. That is my favorite thing.
And bok choy stems?
Stems, not these.
Oh,
These are the leaves. So we're going to do the stems. Ooh, here we go.
Boom.
And peppers.
And peppers.
There we go.
Boom. Colorful. Look at that. Sizzle, sizzle. Yum. That's how it's done.
So pretty. And the more colors you can have in your meal, the better.
Man, I agree with that.
It just tends to mean that the meal is more balanced. Not necessarily if you're adding like dyed food coloring. That is obviously not a good indicator. But, you know, in nature, when your meal is more colorful, it tends to mean it's more balanced.
Oh, that's true. I never thought about that.
So we're going to do those for 2 to 3 minutes. I'm going to set this timer back for 3 minutes because we've got a lot in there.
Salt and pepper on this?
Yeah, I'm sure we do.
Because I was like, that's weird. They haven't had a salt or pepper anything in a while.
Salt and pepper. That was the next step.
Yeah.
Add those and season. So we're going to do those for 2 to 3 minutes. Stirring occasionally. You don't have to like stand there and stir the whole time. And then after the 2 to 3 minutes, we're going to add the leaves. We just don't want those to get mushy is the thing. So those are going to go in after this has gone in a while to soften, and then those are going to go in for another 1 to 2 minutes just to kind of steam and go with that.
Oh, it's going so good.
We've got about 2.5 minutes left on our rice. So that is going to take a peek. Oh, yep, and that is going well.
Yummy. And it's funny how quick the steamed rice really did. And it's weird too that rice is something that's so simple, but at the same time you can do so much with it. I love that about it.
And even just kind of stir that occasionally. Like you don't have to actually babysit that right now.
I like it though. It looks very good.
It is very pretty. It's like very colorful. I love the multicolored peppers. It just gives such a pop of color to like any dish.
This is going on the end, isn't it? These two.
Yes.
So pretty much that's all we have left, ain't it?
That, and then we're also going to add the juice of 2 lime wedges at the very end after
go into
bok
the
choy
rice.
leaves. I think into the peppers and yeah. Once we turn off the heat on the peppers and bok choy, then we're going to add the juice of 2 lime wedges and stir all that together.
Show the camera the lime wedges. Let's see what that's looking like because they look really good.
These are our beautiful lime wedges. This is a pale lime. The inside looks amazing. I'm very excited about it. And there are no seeds, so there's no need to de-seed like we had to with our lemon the other day, so that nobody cracks a filling or a crown or, you know,
is that typical that
is.
they don't have seeds? Is that a normal thing?
Yeah, I've never had anyone tell me to de-seed a lime. If you see seeds
So I guess
in
that's
there
a thing, yeah.
that you think are going to be problematic, by all means, like, de-seed it.
Probably
but
not, huh?
there just aren't any visible seeds in this. So.
But are there ever? That's what I'm asking. Are limes
I don't know.
seedless? Yeah.
I don't know.
Something for the Google.
That would be a great fact for you to Google and tell us next time, Gerald David.
Oh, I know. I don't like Googling things. That's why she Googles it, stop me from making stuff up.
That is why I Google things. So that when he tells you why he thinks it's sushi rice and not regular rice, I can actually tell you why it is sushi rice and not regular rice.
She balances me. Makes me more intelligent every day.
To be fair, though, his stories are usually more entertaining.
Look at this. Delicious.
Oh, that's looking beautiful.
Yeah, I'm going to call it. I'm going to say it's there.
All right, so all we're doing now is adding the bok choy leaves.
Yeah. I don't want it to get mushy. That's
Absolutely.
why I'm calling it.
And it was 2 to 3 minutes. We did it for 3. So, you know, like, use your judgment on that. We've added the bok choy leaves. And we're going to do that. That's our rice. We're going to do the bok choy leaves another 1 to 2 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'll put it on 2, and then we can stop it whenever. We're going to pull this rice.
Yummy.
And we're going to fluff it with a fork.
Oh, do we have a timer for this going?
Yeah, I do. It's on for 2 minutes, and this did not stick horribly, so that's really nice.
That is, because it will sometimes.
And it doesn't just coat the bottom. And you can see our ginger and our garlic in there. It's just looking super pretty. It turned out basically perfectly, so that's awesome.
Yeah, let me give that a little stir. Bam.
There you go. Oh, and it smells so good. Hence the aromatic.
That's
rice.
right. It's the aromatics.
It does smell really good.
The ginger and the garlic is in there, so delicious. So what are we mixing this next?
You can actually go ahead and plate that.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Awesome.
The vegetables and the shrimp are just going to go on top.
That's awesome.
So we can go ahead and get that on plates. We're going to have 2 lime wedges to garnish, and then again, when this the bok choy leaves, I'm just going to give a little stir to over here. Once they're done, we're going to turn off the heat and add the juice of 2 lime wedges, and then that stuff is done too. We are coming to the end of this, folks.
It's yummy. Look at this. Look at
smells
this.
So good.
The juice of 2 lime wedges.
Once we turn the heat off on this, yes.
So not quite yet,
Not
but coming
quite
soon.
yet, yeah.
Coming soon. This is one of those meals where you're like, oh, I'm so hungry. Oh, I'm so hungry.
It smells so good.
So let's go ahead and 30 seconds. We don't have to do 30 seconds. That's icky. We don't have to do that. I'm going to go ahead and wipe some things off.
Sure. Yeah, that'll be good because it's gotten a little messy with the bok choy and whatnot.
It has. You got crazy with the chop chop.
I do. I get a little crazy with that.
It's good therapy.
It's
knife
fun.
therapy.
I find it very zen, like vegetable prep and stuff like that. I really get into like a zen mode when chopping with a knife. I really like it. And I know other people I've talked to who do prep work and stuff have that experience too, but it's just very kind of a zen place to be. So that is our bok choy and peppers that are done. You want to turn that heat off, add the juice of 2 lime wedges and stir it in, and then we can plate that. So he is adding the juice of lime wedges. And squeezing those out all over it.
Yummy.
Ooh. I like how he does it from high up. It's very dramatic.
It is. It is. It's delicious.
So we'll stir that in, and then that can be plated. Beautiful.
There we go.
So pretty. The dark green and the light green, and then all the peppers. I just love it.
It does look good. And you can see where I've started to plate this one, but I didn't want to get out of order. This way you can see how it's done. We get that. Then we get this guy. Boom, boom.
And really veg it up, you know, like.
Oh, well, yeah, you want to split half this. You want to make it like, get your veggies, you know what I mean?
Veggies are fantastic. Or if you're like us, sometimes we'll do a little less than or more than half just because, you know, I'm usually like trying to be a little calorie conscious and stuff. And so Gerald David takes that bullet for me. And
I know, right? It's so hard.
Help me out on that.
It's so hard. Ta-da, there's Miss Kitty's. Let me do the other plate.
Beautiful.
Yummy, yummy.
Don't worry, I steal some of his shrimp. He doesn't know.
That's right, she does. She does. She does. I wish this shrimp was like something where it told you where the shrimp came from. The shrimp never has a history. Have you noticed that? The shrimp doesn't get a story.
I've never really read the label that closely, but I think you're right. Like, I'll have to look at it next time and see.
The shrimp of the unknown. Boom.
It's just shrimp, guys.
I know. It doesn't matter where shrimp comes from.
I am working on a
It's
fiction piece
delicious.
that involves a sentient shrimp right now, though. So
Really?
Stay tuned. Yeah.
That's awesome. I like
We'll have
that.
to see how that comes out.
How do you know that all shrimp aren't sentient?
I don't, but my piece definitely has one that is.
I like that. I do. That sounds awesome. What's his name, the sentient
I
shrimp?
have not named him yet. He has had his first scene, but I have not named him.
Shrimp without a
I
name.
know. But he's self-aware, so I feel like that's half the battle. I'm going to let him
Really?
pick his own name.
And
And it's not going to be Bubba. Just
That's right.
FYI.
That's right. No Bubba shrimp. No Bubba shrimp. And then, as you guys suspected, time for the sweet chili sauce. Boom. And you know, Kitty always likes hers by the bunches.
I do, but yeah, that's probably fine. Just, yeah,
I don't know
go
what
a
that
little
means.
light
She's
on
not
the...
really talking English.
Go a little light on the sweet chili, because that can be a little hotter than not. You can do one more. I did. I got a little excited there.
Very, very strange. And it will be on the
Perfect.
table. You can add more at your leisure.
Absolutely. And we typically do that, is add a little sauce and then put it on the table so people can kind of do it to their taste.
But she's right. This stuff will light you up. Boom.
Clear those sinuses right up, folks.
Boom.
And then we're also going to garnish with the sesame seeds.
Sesame seed. Boom.
And this is just for a little bit of texture and, you know,
Crunchy crunch.
crunch.
Boom.
And those will stay on the table too, so you can do those.
Look at that. All right.
And we're done.
Look how delicious that looks.
So beautiful.
Vadouvan Shrimp.
Or Vadouvan.
Vadouvan Shrimp. Yes, that's right. That's right. Oh, it looks so delicious.
Ooh.
What else was in this?
It's also aromatic rice and sesame seeds. So
Oh, that's
Vadouvan
right.
shrimp, sweet chili sauce, aromatic rice, and sesame seeds.
I'm Gerald David,
And I'm Kitty.
and this is 2Aprons.
Alright. So that's the bottom. Once we turn the heat off on this, go a little light on the sweet chili because that can be a little hotter than not.